I saw grocery stores completely empty in 2026. Jesus told me what to buy now. My name is Marcus Chen. I'm a 42-year-old emergency room nurse. And what I'm about to tell you isn't a metaphor or a parable. It's a warning I received directly from Jesus Christ during the 8 minutes I was clinically dead. We're in December 2025 right now. This isn't some distant future prophecy. 2026 is next year, next month actually. And what he showed me about your family's survival will change everything you thought you knew about preparedness. I never believed in near-death experience stories. I always thought they were just inventions, hallucinations caused by oxygen deprivation or the brain shutting down. I was a person of science. I dealt with life and death every single shift in the ER. I'd seen hundreds of people coded, brought back, flatline again. Some came back talking about tunnels and lights. I smiled, nodded, documented it in their charts, and privately dismissed it as neural misfiring. My world was IV lines, compressions, defibrillators, and evidence-based medicine. That's it. But everything changed on October 9th, 2024. I was driving home after a brutal 12-hour shift. 3 traumas, 2 cardiac arrests, 1 didn't make it. I was exhausted, running on coffee and adrenaline, thinking about the grocery bill I'd seen that morning. Eggs had gone up again. Bread was nearly $6. I remember thinking, how are people supposed to afford to eat? That thought was still in my mind when the semi-truck ran the red light. I didn't see it coming. 1 second I was at the intersection. The next there was metal crushing, glass exploding, and this sensation of my body being compressed and torn apart simultaneously. Then nothing. Silence. Darkness. Complete absence. Time of death, the paramedics would later tell the ER team, was 11:34 p.m. I don't know how long I was in that darkness. It felt like hours, but it could have been seconds. Then the light came. Not gradually. Not like dawn breaking. It erupted. This brilliant, living light that didn't hurt my eyes even though it was more intense than looking directly at the sun. I was no longer in my body. I was aware of myself, but I had no physical form, no weight, no pain from the accident. Just consciousness suspended in this radiant brightness. And I wasn't alone. There was a presence, massive, overwhelming, but not threatening. The light seemed to emanate from this being, and somehow, without words, I knew exactly who it was. Jesus, not the pale European figure from the paintings I'd seen in churches. This was pure presence, pure love, pure authority. I didn't see a face or a body in the traditional sense, but I knew him with absolute certainty, the way you know your own name. The first thing I felt was fear, not fear of him, but fear because my whole life suddenly played before me, not like watching a movie, but experiencing it again, feeling every moment, every decision, every thought I'd ever had. I saw the times I'd been impatient with patients, the times I'd judged homeless people who came into the ER, the moment I'd screamed at my daughter for spilling juice when I was stressed about money, every selfish choice, every harsh word, every time I'd chosen convenience over compassion. Wave after wave of shame crashed over me. I thought, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be in this light. But then he spoke, not with sound, but with knowing. Words that formed directly in my consciousness. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. Tears streamed down my face. Except I had no face, no tears, but somehow I was weeping anyway. The relief was overwhelming. He saw all of it, every mistake, every failure, and he wasn't condemning me. He was just there, present, accepting, loving me in spite of it all. Then his presence shifted slightly, and I understood he had something to show me. The light around me suddenly changed. I was no longer in that peaceful, radiant space. I was standing in a grocery store, not my usual store, but it felt familiar, generic. Fluorescent lights, linoleum floors, rows of shelves. Except the shelves were empty, completely, utterly empty. Not low stock, not a few items scattered around. Empty, bare metal racks. The produce section had nothing. The meat coolers were dark and vacant. The bread aisle was stripped. I walked down row after row and there was nothing. Dust, a few torn package wrappers on the floor. Silence, no customers, no workers, just emptiness. My heart started racing. This wasn't peaceful like the light. This was terrifying. I could feel panic rising in my chest, that primal fear of starvation, of not being able to feed my family. Then Jesus spoke again. 2026. This is 2026. I looked around at the empty store, trying to understand. 2026. That was barely a year away at the time of my accident. How could this be real? Grocery stores in America don't just empty out. We have supply chains, we have abundance, we have systems. His voice came again, patient but urgent. The systems will break. Economic collapse, supply chains shattered, tariffs, inflation, disruption. People will panic. They will buy everything. There will be nothing left for those who wait. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say that can't happen. Not here. Not in America. But I was standing in the middle of the evidence. Empty shelves, silent aisles, the visceral reality of scarcity. Then he showed me more. A flash of images, rapid but crystal clear, ships sitting idle in ports. Trucks not moving, warehouses locked, prices on electronic signs climbing higher and higher, then the signs going dark. People arguing in parking lots, families with scared children standing in front of empty stores. The date kept appearing, 2026, January 2026, early 2026, and then he told me why he was showing me this. Not to frighten me, though I was absolutely frightened, to prepare me, to prepare others. Tell them, he said, tell them to buy now. Tell them what to buy. Time is running out. And then he showed me the list, not written words, but clear knowing downloaded directly into my consciousness. Specific items, specific reasons, things that would become impossible to find or impossible to afford, things that would mean the difference between survival and desperation. I tried to absorb it all, this rush of information, trying to remember every detail, rice, beans, water, but not just those obvious things. Other items I wouldn't have thought of, items that seemed random until he explained why. Medical supplies, shelf-stable proteins, seeds, things for barter, not just survival. He showed me families who had prepared, calm in the chaos because they'd listened to the warnings. And he showed me families who hadn't, desperate, afraid, trying to trade everything they owned for a bag of flour. Your daughter, he said, and suddenly I saw her. My beautiful Emma, age 7, with her gap-toothed smile and her obsession with dinosaurs. She was crying, hungry, asking me why there was no food. That image shattered me. I would do anything, give anything to prevent that reality. That's when he gave me the choice. You can stay here, he said, and the peace was overwhelming, the temptation to remain in that light, to be free from the pain and the fear and the struggle of life. Or you can go back. You can warn them. You can help them prepare. You can save your daughter, your family, and everyone who will listen. There was no contest. I wanted to stay in that peace, more than I'd ever wanted anything, but I couldn't leave Emma to face that future unprepared. I couldn't leave my wife, my parents, my patients, everyone I knew, without at least trying to warn them. I'll go back, I said or thought, or whatever communication is in that place. I'll tell them. And he responded with something that still echoes in my mind every single day. Tell them I showed you. Tell them 2026 is not far away. Tell them to prepare their households. Tell them I love them, and that's why I'm warning them, because I love them. Then the light intensified again, so bright it was like being inside a star, and I felt myself being pulled backward, sucked through space at impossible speed. There was a moment of violent re-entry, like being slammed back into my body with the force of a train crash. Pain exploded everywhere, my chest, my ribs, my legs. I gasped, choking, and my eyes flew open. I was in a hospital room, machines beeping, tubes everywhere. A nurse I knew from my own ER, Sarah, was checking my IV. She looked at me and her eyes went wide. "Marcus! Oh my God, Marcus, you're awake! Doctor, he's awake!" I tried to speak, but my throat was raw from the breathing tube. I managed to croak out one word. "What day?" Sarah looked confused. "It's October 10th. You've been out for 14 hours. You coded twice, Marcus. We thought we lost you. 2026, I whispered. Have to warn them. 2026. She probably thought I was delirious. Maybe I was. But I knew what I'd seen. I knew what Jesus had shown me, and I knew I didn't have much time. That was over a year ago, October 2024, and now here we are. December 22nd, 2025. Do you understand what that means? We are days away from January 2026. The prophecy isn't some vague future event. It's now. It's imminent. And I'm watching it all line up exactly like he showed me. On January 1st, 2026, new tariffs go into effect. 20 to 50% price increases on imported goods. That's not prophecy. That's policy. That's happening. Economists are already warning about supply chain disruptions, about inflation spikes, about potential shortages. Right now, in December 2025, 22% of Americans are already buying emergency preparedness supplies. That's nearly 1 in 4 people. They feel it coming. They don't know what I know. They didn't see what I saw, but they sense it. There's an anxiety in the air, a tension, a knowing that something is shifting. Grocery inflation officially dropped to 2% this year, down from over 3%. The headlines say everything is fine, prices are stabilizing, but I've been in grocery stores. I've seen the prices with my own eyes. $6 bread, $8 eggs, $15 chicken. The official numbers don't match reality, and people know it. And here's something that gave me chills when I discovered it. There's a prophecy from Baba Vanga, the Bulgarian mystic, about 2026. She called it the cash crush, economic collapse, global crisis. I didn't know about that prophecy when I had my experience. Jesus showed me 2026 independently, but now others are seeing it too, predicting it too. That's not coincidence, that's confirmation. The stores look full right now. The shelves are stocked. Everything seems normal. That's what makes this so dangerous. People see the abundance and think there's no urgency. But Jesus showed me how fast it changes. One day the shelves are full. The next day they're empty. Not because the food disappeared, but because people panicked and bought everything. First come, first served. And if you're not first, you get nothing. I don't know the exact trigger. I don't know if it's the tariffs or a supply chain failure or a financial crisis or all of them at once. What I know is what he showed me: empty stores, desperate families, 2026. Every single day since I woke up in that hospital, I've been preparing. I've been buying a little extra every shopping trip. Rice, beans, canned goods, medical supplies. My wife thought I was crazy at first. "Marcus, we don't need 10 bags of rice. Marcus, why are you buying first aid supplies? We're not doomsday preppers." But I told her what I saw. I told her about Jesus, about the empty stores, about Emma crying from hunger. And she looked in my eyes and she knew I was telling the truth. She's been helping me prepare ever since. We're not hoarding. We're not buying everything in sight. We're being responsible, strategic. Buying shelf-stable items that we'll use anyway, just building up a reserve for our family, because the truth is, I can't save everyone. I can't stockpile enough food for my whole neighborhood. But I can save my family. I can warn others so they can save their families. That's what Jesus sent me back to do. That's my mission. So I'm telling you now exactly what he told me. 2026 is here. The warning isn't for next year or the year after. It's for now, today, this moment, while the stores still have stock, while you still have time, while you can still afford it, relatively speaking. I know what you're thinking. This sounds extreme. This sounds like fear-mongering. Maybe you're skeptical the way I used to be skeptical of NDE stories. I get it. I was you. But I'm not asking you to take my word for it. I'm asking you to look at the signs yourself, the tariffs, the stockpiling, the prophecies, the economic warnings, the gut feeling you probably already have that something isn't right. Jesus didn't show me these things to terrify me. He showed me because he loves us, because he wants us prepared, because he doesn't want us to suffer needlessly when we could have taken simple steps to protect our families. And he didn't just warn me about what would happen. He showed me exactly how to prepare, the specific list of items that will matter most. The things that will run out first, the things that will become too expensive, the things you'll wish you had bought when you still could. But Jesus didn't just warn me what would happen. He showed me exactly how to prepare. The list he gave me isn't what you'd expect. It's not just rice and beans, though those are on there. There are specific items, specific reasons, things I never would have thought of on my own. Medical supplies you can't get without prescriptions now, but will be impossible to find later. Shelf-stable proteins that will quintuple in price. Items for barter that will be worth more than cash. Seeds for growing food when supply chains are broken. Water purification methods for when infrastructure fails. Every item on that list was shown to me with crystal clarity. The why behind each one, the order of priority, the quantities that make sense for different family sizes. It's not a doomsday bunker plan. It's a practical, actionable strategy for normal families to weather an abnormal crisis. And every single day we delay is one day closer to January 2026. One day closer to the empty shelves. One day closer to the panic buying. One day less to prepare while we still can. Jesus showed me empty stores in 2026, shelves bare where abundance once stood. But here's what changed everything for me. He didn't leave me staring at that vision in helpless terror. He didn't show me collapse and walk away. No. Jesus gave me a list. Not generic advice like stock up on food. Not vague warnings about preparing your heart. He gave me specific items, practical guidance. Things that will matter most when 2026 arrives, and the supply chains fracture exactly as he showed me. And that's what I need you to understand right now. We have weeks, maybe months, if you're watching this in late December 2025. The window is closing. January 1st, 2026, those tariffs begin, 20 to 50% increases on imports. That's not speculation anymore. That's policy. That's reality barreling toward us at incredible speed. And Jesus showed me this timeline 2 years ago. He knew, he prepared me, and now I'm preparing you. So let me walk you through what he told me. Not everything at once, because I know that overwhelms people, but step by step, category by category, the way Jesus revealed it to me during that second encounter when I asked him, Lord, what do I do? How do I protect my family? And he answered. He answered with such clarity. First, Jesus said, stockpile non-perishable food. And I know that sounds obvious. I know you've heard preppers say this 1,000 times. But here's what made it real for me. 76% of preppers are buying these items right now. 76%. That's not fringe paranoia. That's a massive movement of people who see what's coming and are acting on it. And you know what Jesus told me? He said, when the supply chains break, Sarah, canned goods will sustain families. Rice, beans, foods that last, foods that don't need refrigeration when the power grids strain under economic collapse. I remember standing in my kitchen 3 months ago staring at my pantry. I had maybe 2 weeks of food if I stretched it. 2 weeks. And the weight of Jesus's warning hit me like a freight train. What if he's right? What if 2026 is the year everything fractures? So I started buying, not hoarding, buying intentionally, canned vegetables, dried lentils, rice in bulk, pasta, peanut butter, foods my family actually eats, not survival rations we'd never touch. And every time I added another item to that pantry, I felt this peace, this quiet assurance that I was being obedient, that I was listening, because that's what this is really about, obedience, not fear. Jesus didn't show me empty shelves to terrify me into paralysis. He showed me so I would act, so I would prepare, and so I could warn you. Second, he emphasized vitamins and supplements. And this one surprised me at first. I thought, Lord, why supplements? Shouldn't we focus on food? But then he explained it to me in that gentle way he has, the way he speaks when you're quiet enough to hear. He said, medical care will be scarce, Sarah. When the economic collapse strains hospitals, when supply chains for pharmaceuticals break down, prevention through nutrition will save lives. And then I started seeing the data. 12-month supplies of vitamins selling out fast. Pharmacies struggling to keep certain supplements in stock even now in December 2025. People are waking up. They're realizing that if 2026 brings the chaos Jesus showed me, basic health maintenance won't come from a doctor's visit. It'll come from what you've stored in your home. Vitamin D, vitamin C, multivitamins, magnesium, zinc, the basics that keep immune systems strong when you can't afford to get sick. I bought a year's supply for my family. It cost me maybe $300. $300 for the peace of mind that if Jesus is right, if 2026 unfolds exactly as he showed me, my kids won't suffer from preventable deficiencies. My husband won't get sick because we neglected basic nutrition. And every time I look at those bottles lined up in my cabinet, I thank God for the warning, for the specificity, for caring enough about us to tell us exactly what to do. Third, tools and small electronics. This one Jesus was insistent about. I remember him saying, self-sufficiency matters when systems fail. And I didn't fully understand until I started researching. January 1st, 2026, tariffs on imported tools rise 25 to 50%. 25 to 50%. That cordless drill you've been meaning to buy, it's going to cost you double in 6 weeks. Those batteries you use for flashlights, 50% more expensive. Manual can openers, basic hand tools. Small electronics like radios, portable chargers, anything that relies on imports, the price is about to spike. And Jesus showed me why. Because when economic systems fracture, you can't rely on calling someone to fix things. You can't rely on stores having what you need when you need it. You have to be able to handle basic repairs yourself. Replace a faucet, fix a fence, open canned goods when the power's out and your electric opener is useless. It sounds so simple, almost trivial. But in a crisis, these small things become enormous. I went to the hardware store 2 weeks ago. I bought a basic toolkit, screwdrivers, wrenches, a hammer, duct tape, batteries, a hand crank radio, things I should have owned already but never prioritized. And the man at the checkout looked at me and said, "You're the 5th person today buying this exact setup." 5th person. In a small town, people know, they feel it. The tremor of something coming. And here's the thing, Jesus didn't tell me to buy these things and hide them away like a doomsday bunker. He told me to buy them so I could help others. So when my neighbor's sink breaks in March of 2026 and they can't afford the inflated cost of a plumber or replacement parts, I can help. That's the heart of this. Preparation isn't selfish. It's stewardship. It's being ready to serve when the world around you is scrambling. 4th, and this one caught me off guard, shoes, footwear. Jesus said, mobility matters in crisis, Sarah. Protecting your feet protects your family's ability to move. And then I saw the data, 30% tariff on imported shoes starting January 2026. 30%. Most of the shoes in America are imported. That means the pair of sneakers your kid needs because they're growing, 30% more expensive. The work boots your husband relies on, 30% more. And it's not just about cost, it's about availability. When tariffs hit, supply chains slow, inventory dries up, sizes disappear. And if you're caught in a crisis, if you need to walk somewhere because your car won't start or gas is rationed, worn-out shoes become a genuine problem. Blisters, injuries, immobility. Jesus thought of that. He cared about that detail. And so I checked every pair of shoes in my house. I replaced the ones that were worn. I bought my kids the next size up. I made sure we were covered. Because that's what love does. It thinks ahead. It prepares. And Jesus is love. Perfect, meticulous, caring love that doesn't overlook the small things. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Sarah, this sounds like fear. This sounds like you don't trust God to provide. And I want to address that head on, because this is not about fear. This is about faith. Faith that when God warns you, you listen. Faith that obedience matters. Do you remember Noah? God told him to build an ark, not because Noah didn't trust God, because Noah did. He trusted enough to obey. He built that ark before the rain came. And when the flood arrived, his obedience saved his family. That's what this is. Jesus warned me. He showed me 2026. He gave me specific guidance. And my faith response is to act, to prepare, not with trembling hands and a panicked heart, but with peace, with purpose. Because I know that God doesn't warn us to watch us fail. He warns us so we can be ready, so we can be lights in the darkness when others are afraid. And here's the other piece, spiritual protection. Jesus didn't just give me a shopping list and send me on my way. He wrapped the entire warning in this framework of hope. He said, those who heed divine warnings are protected, not through magic, Sarah, not through some spiritual force field, but through wisdom, through preparation, through obedience. I've seen Jesus face to face. I know this is real. I know this isn't my imagination running wild or some anxious delusion. Every detail he showed me 2 years ago is aligning with what's happening now in December 2025. The tariffs, the economic forecasts, the 30% recession risk economists are cautiously mentioning, the stockpiling trends, the supply chain vulnerabilities. It's all there. It's all unfolding exactly as he said. And I can't not share this. The burden of this warning is my purpose. My NDE changed me. I'm no longer afraid of death. I've been there. I've seen the other side. But I am compelled to warn the living, to tell you that Jesus cares, that he's giving us a window right now, today, to act before 2026 arrives and the window closes. So here's my call to you. Don't wait. Don't sit on this information thinking, I'll get to it next month, because next month might be too late. If you're watching this in late December 2025, you have days before those tariffs hit, days before prices spike. And even if you're watching this earlier, even if you have a few months, why risk it? Why gamble with your family's well-being when Jesus himself has given you the blueprint? Act now. Go to the store. Buy non-perishables, stock up on vitamins, get those tools, replace worn-out shoes. Do it while shelves are still full, while prices are still manageable. Because December 2025 is the test of faith. The shelves are full now, the stores are stocked. And that's exactly why so many people won't act. They'll see abundance and assume it'll last, but Jesus showed me it won't. And when you prepare, do it with faith, do it with trust. Know that you're not being fearful, you're being obedient. You're listening to a divine warning from a God who loves you enough to tell you the truth. A God who doesn't want you blindsided when 2026 arrives. I've delivered the message he gave me. That was my mission. The reason he brought me back from death, the reason he showed me those visions, was so I could stand here today and tell you, warn you, equip you. What you do with this information now, that's between you and God. I can't make you act. I can only tell you what I know, what I've seen, What Jesus revealed to me with such clarity, it still takes my breath away. But I'll leave you with this. Jesus loves you enough to warn you. He could have stayed silent. He could have let 2026 unfold without any advance notice, without any preparation guidance. But he didn't. He spoke, he showed me, and now I've shown you. So will you love your family enough to prepare? Will you trust the warning enough to act? Or will you wait and see, hoping it doesn't come true, only to find yourself caught unprepared when it does? Peace comes from obedience. I learned that after my NDE. The deepest peace I've ever known came when I stopped resisting God's guidance and started following it. When I stopped questioning whether the visions were real and started acting as if they were. And that peace has carried me through the fear, through the uncertainty, through the weight of knowing what's coming. You can have that peace too. Prepare with faith. Stock your shelves, not with anxiety, but with gratitude that God cared enough to warn you. Buy those supplies, not in panic, but in trust. And then rest. Rest in His protection. Rest in the knowledge that you've been obedient, that you've listened, that when 2026 arrives and the world around you is reeling, you'll be ready. Share this message. If Jesus showed me this to warn others, help me reach them. Send this to your family, your friends, your church community, anyone who will listen, because the timeline is here. January 1st, 2026 is days away if you're watching in late December. 2026 is the year Jesus specifically showed me. We're not looking into some distant future. We're standing on the edge of it. And I want you to be ready. I want you to be at peace. I want you to look back a year from now and thank God that you heard this warning and acted on it. That's my prayer. That's my hope. That's why I'm here, sharing the most personal, most terrifying, most sacred experience of my life with complete strangers on the internet. Jesus loves you. He warned you. And now the choice is yours.